All right, let's get this party started, okay? So without further ado, I am IMANI VANZAP here to help you fix your... Did you do the VANZAP arms? Did you do it?
I'm like, what? Come on, what are we doing?
One of my friends said it's to receive our praise.
Yes, come on.
Receive our praise, oh Lord.
Yes.
You are looking at everyone right now. We are on Facebook Live right now. I am so excited. I do want to say our format is a little bit different on tonight, but I'm excited about it because I think it's dependable. We don't have any drama, all right, anything like that. We've got Hollywood royalty that is here with us on tonight. Listen, and I wanted to make sure that she feels good about everything that is going on, all right? So without further ado, I present to you, all right, I know everybody knows her because she's all over the place, Brittany Inge.
Come on.
All right, listen, I had to ask her. I've known her name by heart for forever, but didn't know how to pronounce it. So it's Inge, as in binge, as she said. Yes. Depending on how I feel, sometimes it's Inge, sometimes it's Inge, whatever it is.
Oh,
you, Brittany.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm, very happy to be here with you. So excited. I'm a huge IMANI VANZAP. I'm super excited to be here and excited to chat and say hey to everybody.
Hey everybody. Yes, get in the comments. And I can see some things that are happening. Let me see if I can expand this. That way I can at least see what's going on. And if they, put some questions, there we go.
Super excited to be here and excited to say hey to everybody.
Yes. This is when I need my nephew here, Erik. Good help is hard to find. I won't talk about it too bad. Okay. All right, but listen, everybody knows Brittany from several shows. So before we get into your ultimate, big break, if you will, let's just kind of walk things back. So Brittany is an amazing actress, originally from where?
Originally from Laurel, Maryland.
Laurel, Maryland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And what brought you to the South?
Well, I went to high school in D.C. I went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts. And then I came to Atlanta to attend Spelman College. And
right, I remember this, okay.
And that was the shift for me because once I got to Atlanta, I stayed. Because Laurel, that's where dreams go to die.
Going back. Sorry, Laurel. Sorry, child.
Yeah, sorry to that.
Listen, no shade, but all shade.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just stayed.
Wow, okay. And was Atlanta always the first choice?
Yes, location-wise, but not college-wise. Like when I graduated high school, I just wanted to be Whitney Houston.
Yes.
A superstar, recording artist. That was my goal. And I wasn't really thinking about college. And then my mom suggested Spelman. I didn't know a lot about Spelman, not all that I should have known. And after doing my research, I was like, well, it's in Atlanta. And at the time, I was like, Jermaine Dupri, Tyler Perry, they're in Atlanta. That's where I want to be. It was like 2007 when I was going into college. So I'm like, Jermaine Dupri and Tyler Perry. That was almost in my head. So I just used that as my gumption to get me.
That is amazing. But you're not in Atlanta now.
No, I'm in New York City.
You're in New York? I thought you were in LA.
No, not yet. That's next. But.
So you're okay. Well, my nephew's been talking about coming to New York, so you need to talk.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay. Let's set that up. Okay. So let's see. Before we made the big ascent to go up to New York, how did things go as far as you acting here? What things were you in? I know that my nephew was part of one of your productions a while back. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah. So, oh Lord, how did it start? It started with acting classes, number one, because I was a singer first. So I was like, and I knew I had a little bit of a natural knack for acting, but I didn't want to rely on that. And I started at first trying to go to like musical theater auditions, and I was bombing the auditions, y'all.
Really? What? You? Oh, no, ma'am. I don't believe it.
It's true because the singing was there, but the acting was not. So then I started taking classes, and I fell in love. I got bit by the bug. Then I started doing community theater. Then I started doing independent short films. That's where me and Erik met. And, we just, right. And so then I graduated to professional theater in the Atlanta scene, and then eventually television and film. So it was literally a gradual journey of me just learning the craft, on the job training, and kept putting one foot in front of the other and falling more and more in love with acting.
Oh my goodness. Now I have to make a little small joke about, like she said, she's working with my nephew, Erik. So the production was called 20 Years In.
Yep, 20 Years In.
The funny thing about that was right around that the movie 12 Years a Slave came out. So every time people would ask Erik about the movie, he would say 20 Years a Slave by accident.
Oh.
It just, you know, Erik would always say, I'm in a new project called 20 Years a Slave. I mean, 20 Years In, because it was right around the time that the movie came out.
Perfect. That's perfect. Oh my gosh, we thank God it wasn't 20 years for that.
Okay.
12.
That. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you, now when Erik met you, you were directing and producing at the time. Are you still doing that?
So yes and no.
Okay.
I still have goals, and now the goals are on a bigger scale, so it takes longer to get things done, you know. But I still, you know, acting has taken the forefront, and I learned actually from my boss, Lena Waite, that, you know, it's good to become, you can be good at lots of things, but her advice to me was become known for one thing first, so that then your name can put you in any room that you desire. You want to direct, you want to produce, you want to write, that's beautiful. Right now, people see you building your brand and your journey as an actor. Yes. And I can tell that's what you really love. Why don't you stick with that and build the biggest name that you can possibly build as an actor? And then the doors are open to you. And so that reminds me, and I received that. And so I'm just doing my best to still work on my own passion projects myself. Mm-hmm. But as far as the hardcore branding grind,
rid of it all
right now. But yes.
Yeah. Oh my, that's such a blessing to hear. That's such a blessing to hear. And you're right. It is. Sometimes you can fall into your passion. I think a lot of times we think we just come out of the womb knowing, and you don't. Right. You know, you have to try different things. You have to fail. You have to adjust. You have to reinvent, all of those things. So I'm glad that it led you to what your actual passion is. Now, before I ask you anything else about that, when would you say the first time was that you felt that this might be it? Even when you weren't pursuing it, at what age do you feel that, you know, hindsight's 20/20?
Right. When I felt like acting was like the call.
You feel like acting was like, this is what it's going to be, or not necessarily that, but just if I could do anything, I would do acting. But then, of course, you went back to something else. When was the first time that you felt that acting bug?
Okay, this is a great question. Literally, I got cast in this terrible community theater show. I will never forget.
Lord, it
was terrible. But
community theater.
It was terrible. And not all community theater is terrible. That's the thing. This was a terrible piece.
Right.
But I was cast as the lead. And
not only is it bad, but you have a lot of responsibility. I've been there. I understand. Yes.
Cast as the lead, and mainly because they needed someone who could act and sing. So, you know, and it was community theater, whatever. So, but in doing that show, as terrible as it was, playing the lead and having all of that responsibility and having all these things that character was dealing with and going through, that is what really ignited the fire in me. Like, oh, this is what I want to do. I don't ever want to do this show again.
Not like this. I love this, but not this.
I don't ever want to do this show again, but this, like what I'm having to do and breaking down the script and discovering things about this character, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. And it's crazy. And that's the thing. God can use anything to speak to you and let you know, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because that show was trash, but it sparked so much.
Listen, she knows every auntie-ism there is. All right, I have nieces and nephews. Brittany is my daughter. Okay, I don't have daughters everywhere. She's a daughter of your mom.
I love it. Oh my God. I'm obsessed. But yes.
That is so wonderful. Okay, so we're moving away. We've done community theater and we got out of that. We're doing our own productions and come out of that. So what was the first professional job you got?
So the first professional theater job that I got at the Alliance Theater, and I was an understudy for this show called Born for This, the BB Winans story.
BB Winans got a story?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not no shade to BB Winans. I'm not saying he can't have a story, but I didn't know that. Okay. Come on, BB story.
Yeah, they were trying to like pitch it to, you know, do some other things and go to Broadway. I don't know what happened with it. It was a well put together show, but
yeah.
So I was an understudy. I understudied Cece and Mom Winans. I was understudying both those roles. So
love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Job, and it led to, I was an understudy, but it led to me doing other main stage productions at other theaters. Now, my first professional television job was Survivor's Remorse on Starz.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, I think now that, and forgive me, I think that I might, did I see the Survivors? Yes, I did. Were you with a couple girls?
Yep, it was like we were a trio. It was three of us.
Trio. That's right. I remember it. Tell us about that. Okay, wait. Before I go there, okay, hold on. I don't want to carry you too fast. I'm excited. Okay, listen. Before we get into that, I want you to break down for those that are aspiring out there the importance of theater acting.
Oh yeah.
How would you break that down? Because you work in television where there's a lot of takes and there's not saying that you don't get the chance to create, because you're with Lena, who is one of the most progressive producers I've ever seen. I love her ascension, and we're going to talk about her a little bit later too. But a lot of other television, I'm sure you can attest to this, it is very much kind of copy and paste, do the same thing. Sure. How do you feel that your theater substance lends itself to the acting world?
Yeah, I literally just talked about this today in a different interview, and it's just true. So what I found, because the question was posed to me like, yeah, so what has it been like having on-set experience as a theater actor? Like and I said, what I learned very quickly going onto television sets is that theater training sets you apart. It sets
break it down.
Apart. Like, first of all, the way that theater actors work, the way we learn lines, the way we dissect characters, the way we develop characters.
Yes.
Folks who have only worked in television and film, I'm sorry to say, they just don't approach the craft in the same way.
Yes.
There's a lot, and I'm trying to find the words. Like, a theater actor goes from the gut into the character. And what I found is that a lot of actors who only do TV and film, or who have only ever made that their goal,
exactly,
trained in the craft, everything is very surface level. It's like face value.
Yes.
And because of that, even though you have directors who are working in TV and film and they're used to working with television and film actors, I'm telling you, as someone with theater training, when you walk into a TV set, people sit up straight. They take notice. And so I always encourage, especially young actors who ask me for advice, I'm like, first of all, study the craft. Study the craft, stay in class.
Hold on, wait, I gotta help you out. Wait, hold on. This one we have a message. Listen, you know how it is on the show, everyone. When somebody drops gems, I gotta stop it so they can, what do they need to do, Brittany?
Study the craft.
Study your craft, young people. All right. I gotta help you. Yeah, go ahead.
It will set you apart. Even, and I'll share this story. Even when I first booked Boomerang.
Yes.
I booked Boomerang, I was the least known person. Like, I didn't have a bunch of followers. I wasn't a child star. I wasn't someone who had previous big credits, and I wasn't a social media influencer. I was none of those things. Most of the other actors in my cast are those things.
Yeah.
And that's great. And they've had amazing opportunities and amazing careers. I was the least known person. I was clearly there because I could act, and that was it. Like it was just clear.
I'm here to actually do the job, and that's all.
Yeah, and that was it. And so in the beginning of filming, I remember feeling at times like, oh, I don't know if they see me. Like, I don't know if Lena even sees me. And I wasn't pressed to like be in anyone's face, but I was just in my own head saying like, I don't know if they see me, but I'm just gonna do my work and keep my head down and whatever, and stay in the work. And that's what I had to tell myself whenever my mind would drift, and I would stay in the work, Brittany, stay in the work. Cut to, we were halfway through filming, and I started getting messages sometimes like from our director, who, and people who would see the dailies, basically is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And I would start getting messages like, girl, the work that you're doing, just out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, because the dailies started to show up. And let me tell you, the gift makes room, and those dailies aren't gonna lie. And
people listen to what she's saying.
Yeah, they don't lie. And what happened was halfway through filming, Lena came back. She was with us at the beginning. She went back to LA. She came back to Atlanta. And all of a sudden she was like, Britt, girl, you like all of a sudden. And I was like, oh, like it's the work. It's the work. The gift makes room. And if you stay focused on the work, It takes care of everything else.
Let me ask you really quickly, just because you're dropping terminology that some people may not know.
Yes.
Describe to people, what are dailies, and what do you mean by that when you say the dailies never lie?
Yes, so dailies are the daily footage that gets dropped into, you know, let's say like a folder that certain people on the production have access to, and they're reviewing footage. So it's literally the daily footage, whatever scenes you filmed that day, all the takes, all the mishaps, all the stuff gets dropped into a folder for, you know, the editors and the director and the writers to review. So that, and they're called dailies.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, I love knowledge. We love knowledge here. So, and we do have a couple people that I see in the comments. Everyone is saying how beautiful you are. I want to let you know that you're just glowing. They love you. Listen, she's naturally snatched. Okay, it takes Auntie a couple of hours, but she woke up like this. All right, let's be very clear.
I couldn't give my full glam today the way I wanted to, so thank you.
You don't need no girl. Listen, some of us girls need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. I'm a little older. It's all right. So I will tell you when I remember that, you know, my nephew Erik and his husband Tony were sitting there watching Survivor's Remorse. Yes. And I remember when, and I was there too, and I remember when you came on the screen and how happy I was.
Oh.
I want to see people make it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, if you can even go into this a little bit, I believe there was a panel that you and I want to make sure I got her name, last name, Lala Milan. Yep. Where we were talking about, you were talking about there being enough for everyone. And to be full of love, and that, you know, there's enough opportunity. So I don't think that we always celebrate that enough in one another. And I want you to know, I screamed at the top of my lungs and pushed pause and did a victory lap around the house.
Come on, victory lap.
Victory lap around the house. Listen, so you all know that Brittany is Christian, all right? So we're having a little bit of church. All right, it's a conversation, but it's also convocation. All right. Listen.
You call a woke Christian.
Come on.
The bullshit. You quote me on that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Listen, it's a difference. There's a difference. But I was so happy when I saw it. I was so happy when I saw you on there. Describe the moment that you got the call saying that you booked the job.
Oh man. Okay.
What is that feeling like?
Okay, so there's the feeling, right? But the story that I have multiplied the feeling by 10. And I have to give the whole story. I can never tell this story and just talk about the call because there's so
take your time. We're here for it.
I got the audition for Survivor's Remorse. I was told that it would be an in-person, like the first round was in-person auditions, which always excites me. I love to be able to go in the room.
Okay.
Right before that audition, I was robbed at gunpoint.
Okay. Everybody tune. Well, hold on. Tag someone right now. I forgot to say, hit like and share. What we are hearing right now is a full testimony. Sometimes we don't know where we're coming from when the Lord blesses. Tell us about it. Go on, baby. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What?
So the night before the audition, I was robbed at gunpoint in front of my house.
Can I ask you to describe that moment?
Very traumatic.
Oh my goodness.
Very, here's the thing. I was so terrified, obviously. I was so traumatized. And I remember running up to my door and crouching down and thinking that it was over and seeing the person still coming towards me. And I realized my backpack was still on my back. And obviously they wanted, whatever, every bag. But that moment when I was crouched down and I happened to open my eyes and still saw him coming towards me, right in that moment, I heard God say, "You're okay." Right in that, like, I knew that even though he was coming towards me, that nothing was going to happen. I can't explain that. I can't even tell. I literally heard, "You're fine. You're okay." And I shook my book bag off of me as fast as I could, and I threw it, and he went away.
Brittany, a peace that surpasses all. Baby, my God.
So,
First of all, let's give a praise that you're here.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Let's be thankful for that. All right, go on. Yeah.
Yes. So that happened. Obviously, I had to deal with police officers and things like that night.
Yes.
And when it was all over, I was trying to figure out, obviously I'm still very shaken. And I was like, damn it, I have an audition tomorrow. Like that, after everything, that thought surfaced back up. You know, the artist is still here. Look, you kept me here, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay. So
I got work from a drink deal after that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm frazzled, but what am I gonna do? And I made the executive decision. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna let this moment, this evil energy, this spirit deter me. I'm gonna go to bed the best I can and wake up and go to that audition tomorrow. So I did. I woke up, I tried to pull myself together, and I went to the audition. A week later, I got the call that I booked it. So that feeling, there were so many emotions attached. Because it not only was it my first television role ever, but I had just been through something so traumatic, and it was like confirmation also that I was supposed to be here and that I was supposed to be on the path that I'm on, that I was supposed to be a storyteller. So it was a lot for me, a lot.
The steps of a good man and a woman.
Come on.
It's one thing to just know the word, right? But to put it into action, to actually apply it to your life, and that it's not always going to be applied in the most beautiful of situations.
No.
It's not going to be that.
No.
You really have to reach down and know that you know that you know that you know.
Yeah.
I am so glad for that, and now knowing that makes me all the more happier. It was knowing that. Such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Of course.
Now, after that, and if there's a gap and I'm missing anything, stop me real quick. Let me know. Atlanta, was that after that?
Not right after.
Not right after. Okay.
So 2017 was when I finally started booking television. Another thing for young aspiring actors to know, I signed with my agent, I think in 2015, and I didn't book anything in 2015. In 2016, I booked one non-union commercial for Aaron's Furniture.
Okay.
The whole commercial was in Spanish. I didn't know what was being said. I was in the commercial doing this the whole time. So that's that. And then in 2017, things picked up because literally all of that happened with Survivor's Remorse and me booking it at the top of 2017. So that's when the ball started rolling.
Right.
So I booked Survivor's Remorse, and then there was something, maybe a few things in between there that I honestly can't remember if it was like The Resident or things like that. Yeah. And then towards the end of 2017, I booked Atlanta, which was another big deal for me because it's a show I actually watch.
Yeah.
So,
what is that like?
Yeah, it's so crazy to book a show that you're a fan of.
Goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Oh my God. Did you get to meet Donald Glover?
I did not, unfortunately. So what was so crazy about the episode that I booked is it was a Van central episode. So his girlfriend or his baby mother on the show, it was her episode. It was her going to this party and
yeah.
So it was so specific that he wasn't there. He wasn't directing it. I was like, oh, maybe he'll direct it, but he wasn't directing. So I did not get to meet him. I met his brother, who's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still just a phenomenal experience.
You were on that episode also too with I believe Markel Williams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Was in there as well too. That's one of my good friends. Yeah, it was so good to see you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you knew this, but Markel actually plays Curtis, who is my husband.
Really?
Yes. You haven't seen him just yet. I've kind of teased him out there a little bit, but yes, Markel is actually going to be. He's my Curtis.
Perfect. I'm so ready.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm so ready. Yeah.
I can't wait. All right. So here we go. So drum roll it on up. So we're doing things. We're booking jobs. We're, doing well and doing the work and overcoming.
And still having a day job.
And still had a day job?
Yeah. During all of that, still had a day job.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. A lot of people don't understand that. And I get that we want to, go after our dreams 100%, but we have to juggle.
Yep.
You know, you have to juggle and multitask. You have to manage a lot of things. So thank you for letting people know that as well too. So she's working a job and overcoming and booking gigs.
I had a day job. I was doing theater. I was doing TV. I mean, it was a lot of work, and I had a day job, thankfully, that was flexible and that worked with me. But
it's always a blessing.
I worked in Tyler Perry Studios, but I worked there corporately. I worked at a desk job, and I kept the world separate on purpose because I was not trying to lose my job and my benefits. Trying to tell somebody I could act, trying to say, hey, I can act too. Hire me. Let me just come to my job and do my job and be an actor where I'm, elsewhere.
Yeah. So we're working. We're doing things. So now we've moved to New York at this time. Before we booked. Say it again.
Still in Atlanta.
Still in Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. Because this is the lead up to Boomerang that you're asking.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm going.
Yes.
I'm trying to slowly walk it.
In Atlanta, hit a ceiling. Was booking a lot of TV and film work, but it was the same types of roles. Day player roles, meaning the roles where you just show up for one day, you're only in one scene, and that scene is just used to push the episode along. You know, it's not any like major players in and not even filler. Like the roles are significant to the story.
Okay.
Not series regular role. Like I wasn't getting auditions for series regular roles.
Got it. Okay.
The Atlanta market is more for co-star and guest star roles.
Got it. Okay. Say that again, so people may not understand that. You know that Atlanta. Break that down one more time. How Atlanta's landscape is.
Atlanta. A lot of productions film in Atlanta, and a lot of times you'll hear people saying, "Oh, you should move to Atlanta. You want to be an actor? You should move to Atlanta." And you should, especially if you don't have any credits, because it's a great place to build a resume. But at a certain point, if you're interested in bigger roles and lead roles and series regular roles, they are always going to, it doesn't matter where they film, they're always going to cast those bigger roles out of New York and LA. Always.
Okay.
So it's important for folks to know because so often people are like, well, everything films in Atlanta, I'm going to go there.
Yeah,
you can to start, but if you really want to do it, eventually you're going to have to leave Atlanta.
Got it.
That's what happened to me. I was working, and I didn't move to Atlanta for that. I was already there, but I was working a lot. I was booking a lot of day player or co-star roles. That's what they're called. And I hit a ceiling. I knew that I was ready to do more, but that I wasn't going to get auditions for more until I left. And and part of it was I needed to leave literally, and it was also a spiritual move. It was my way of letting God and the universe know that I was ready.
You're ready.
Right. So I saved X amount of dollars. I had like a goal amount in mind. Okay. I saved it. And once I saved it, I quit my job at Tyler Perry Studios. But I did not move right away. I was still in Atlanta doing theater, figuring it out. The money was gone real quick because you got to live off of it. And it dried up. And I'm very responsible with my money. But
it's not even that. It's life.
Yeah, I had to live. And so it dried up. Things got very tight. I started like driving for Uber for a minute, all of that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to step out on faith. I'm going to move to New York because I can't do this anymore. I've hit the ceiling. I've hit the wall. Child, I moved to New York at the end of August of 2018. I got the audition for Boomerang at the end of September 2018. Through my Atlanta agent though, still, because I still was with that, that agency. I hadn't done the full crossover yet.
Yes.
It's crazy because the audition still came from Atlanta, but I had to go in order to manifest that in the spiritual realm. That's what I believe. And so
this is good, y'all. This is good. Listen.
And so I did the audition. I taped it. I got a call back. I had to fly back to Atlanta on a last minute flight. They thought I was local, so I had to lie. Rolled into the audition with my luggage, had to hide it. And I did the callback and found out like a week or so later, once I was back in New York, that I booked it. I had just moved from Atlanta. Boomerang films in Atlanta. I had to move back.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It was nuts.
Like you said, but stepping out in faith.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. So give me the Boomerang call.
Oh my goodness. Okay. The Boomerang call. There's a story around the calls now.
Okay.
The Boomerang call was crazy because I did the call back, I think on, let's say like October 5th or something. Okay. My birthday was October 8th. So I was expecting, or maybe the callback was October 2nd. I was expecting to know by the time my birthday hit, I thought I would know something, even if the answer was no. But I felt in my spirit that I had it. So I was like, I'm gonna, I'll know by then.
Yes.
October 8th came and went. I celebrated my birthday that year and I still didn't know anything. But on October 8th, I was so frantic that I reached out to my agent at the time and I was like, do we know anything? And he was like, well, they sent you up for approval, which meant that they wanted me. They were just waiting for the network to approve me and say yes. So at that point, I celebrated my birthday with that knowledge and I felt okay, but there's still nothing like that real yes. Like I still didn't know.
Yeah.
So
it was a really strong maybe at that point.
Exactly. It was, yeah. It was like, okay, thank you, but like I want the real.
Looking good. It's looking good.
So October 8th came and went. That was my birthday. October 9th comes and I go to see a show on Broadway, American Son.
Okay.
My favorite actor, Kerry Washington. I end up meeting Kerry after the show. So here's
Carry me, Lord. Okay. Just can't hit me that quick with that kind of information. What?
I end up meeting Kerry after the show. And I don't mean at the stage door, y'all. I'm not talking about the stage door. I'm talking about there was a producer's like toast and gathering downstairs underneath the theater. And I was there. I was in there.
In the room.
Yes, in the room where it happens, okay? I end up meeting her afterwards. I get to tell her how much she has impacted me, how she's the reason I really fell in love with acting, because that is true. And I got to tell her all these things. She let me take a picture with her. Like, so I was on cloud nine. I'm like, okay, I've met Kerry. My birthday was yesterday. You really can't tell me anything. If I got to get this job. The day after that, the call finally comes that I have the job.
Oh!
Tears.
Okay.
Tears.
Like,
yeah.
Cartoon projectile.
Yeah.
I mean, really. It's one of those things, it's like everything that you have been going through and working for leads up to a moment like this where it is secure, you're a regular, you're out there. I'm looking at IMDb, I'm like, she's just all these multiple episodes.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the world you're going into. Congratulations.
Thank you. So it was very emotional. And, even to be really clear and honest, the first season, they did not have me billed as a series regular. I was billed as a recurring guest star, myself and another cast member, because they already had given out their series regular contracts and they only had 4. And I was cast last. They could not find their Crystal. They looked in LA, they looked in New York, they could not find her. And then they found her in Atlanta. So, and as amazing as that is, because of that, I didn't get a series regular contract, which meant far less money. But
we'll make that work.
But we'll make it work for one season because I know that the work will speak, and it did. In season 2, I was able to become a series regular and earn my worth.
Earn her heat. You became, as we say here, stronger.
Yeah. Love it. I love it.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're in Boomerang. So now you are in the brainchild of an iconic movie in Black film.
Yes.
Like I mean, come on. You're now a predecessor of the Halle Berry and Eddie Murphy and all of that.
Yes.
What does that feel like to step into the shoes of such a dynamic and just what does it feel like?
It felt like a privilege.
Because it's not any old show. It's Boomerang.
It felt like a privilege, and it felt like an honor to walk in their footsteps. First of all, Eddie Murphy is a titan. He's a titan, and so is Halle. And so even to have Halle's blessing and to have her name on it, and for her to believe in us enough to put her name on it as executive producer.
Yes.
that was just insane. So yeah, it just felt like a huge honor and responsibility, and I was excited to try to rise to that occasion. I told Lena recently that everyone on the show kind of has their person from the film that they represent.
Yes.
But no one has ever talked about who Crystal represents. Like, I think that, Simone is like her father.
Right.
Bryson is like his mother.
Yes.
And actually, no, Bryson is also kind of like Marcus and his mother. He's like a mix of Simone's father and his own mother.
Okay.
And then you have his two male friends who represent the Martin and David Allen Greer character. You have Lala's character, who's like the Strange.
Yes.
And Crystal, to me, represents the Angela Graham character, which is Hallie's character.
Yeah.
Is Angela Graham. Angela was the underdog. She, yes. First, but she was the one making everything happen. She's stunning, and she's
okay.
She was just like the person who ultimately came out and like with the brains and the heart and with so much to give.
Yeah.
And I feel that Crystal represents that on the show. She's the mother figure. She's always thinking about her friends. She's always giving. And so I feel like she's the Angela Graham of.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. And I love what you bring to it. I love the sincerity in the depth of the character and all the colors that you provide for Crystal. I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
I do. Now, and as you were saying, just to kind of go back to an earlier comment, that some of the other co-stars that you have, or your colleagues, that you're working with. Let's be real. I don't want them to cuss me out. I know. Okay, the other stars that you work.
Yes, the other stars.
And among them all, you have Lala Milan, who many of us know. What is it like working with that crazy woman?
I love her. I love her so much. Like, I could weep. I
believe it. I feel your heart. I believe it.
Love her. Here's the thing. When I found out that, who's in the show, I'm like, okay, great. And I saw Lala's name and I'm like, oh, that should be interesting, because to me, obviously I knew who she was.
Yes.
But her personality online is like so funny, so like wacky. I was expecting her to just be a lot. And that's not a judgment. I was just like, okay, this will be great. But
all the time.
Yeah, she's probably going to be a lot. Like, is she always going to be on 10?
Yeah.
She is one of the realest, most genuine people, and also crazy. She's always crazy. Lala's always saying something to the left, always. But her heart is so pure, and her love and her generosity is so pure. She is honestly my favorite cast member. And I hope
goodness.
nobody gets mad at me.
Right. Not no shade, nobody. She love all y'all. All right, she love all y'all.
I love everybody, but she and I are definitely the closest, and I love that girl. Like, she is everything. And the thing that I really admire about her is just her hustle, her grind. She is not going to let anybody box her in.
No.
In one category. And I just love it. That's my girl.
She carved her own lane, much like yourself. I love people that they didn't let the industry necessarily tell them yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? When we're in such a day where things can be shallow, and we could go down the whole road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you can just be yourself, you show up in the truth of who you are, and that is enough.
Yeah.
And I believe you both represent that so beautifully, comically, substantively, all of that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, last but not least, what is it like working with that Lena?
Lena.
I feel that she's a clown, and I want to meet her one day, because she seemed like she is just goofy and full of love. Her other series, 20s, which I love as well too. She's so talented, but so humble with it. That's what I feel.
Yeah, no, all of that.
Yeah.
She's a clown. Her humor, though, is very dry.
I figured it was. Real
dry Chicago humor. Yeah, like she says something, you're like, wait, what? And then you laugh after, because you just realize she's just crazy. But Lena is, my favorite thing about Lena is that she really walks the walk.
Yeah.
She doesn't just, she talks a lot of talk. She's so good at expressing not only her own feelings, but the feelings of her community.
Yes.
And expressing the passions of her community. And and really getting folks to rally behind, you know, her thoughts, her ideas, her version of change, which I love.
Yeah.
She's an orator. If you know, really. And
yeah.
And so I love that about her, but what I love even more is that she really walks the walk. Like, she's not just saying these things and then living a completely different life. Like, she
means it.
Yeah, and she means it. So that's what inspires me the most about her. Working with her is great. I love her mind and the feedback that she gives us, especially season 1. She was really on set a lot to like just help. She didn't direct, but she was just there to guide us and throw in her 2 cents and make sure. She's amazing.
Wow. It seems like it's great. How many hours do you spend on set a day?
I would say anywhere from 12, and that's a short day.
Oh, okay. Ain't no 8-hour, I'm tired. You listen. All right, you're lucky if you get a good 6.
Yeah, I mean, there are days where you can get 8. And that's when you just working a half a day at that point. Like, but there are days when you can get 8, but that's light work. So the average would be maybe 12 to 16.
Yes. Woo! Oh my goodness. That's great. But you're the person for it. You have to really, and I tell people this, and I'm sure you can say it too, you have to really want this thing. This is nothing that, you know what I'm saying? This is nothing that you get into and just kind of play around a little bit to see how it's going. You know, I understand that for a season, but like you said, you have to make sacrifices. You taught us a lot tonight, Brittany. Yes. Make the sacrifice on one of your biggest days in your life. Something tragic happened the day before and you did not let that deter you. Yeah. You had to know what your purpose was in the midst of all that. Yeah. And look where it got you.
Yeah, you're all facts. You really have to want it. I always tell people, like, you can't, if you're just looking for fame or you just, you know, like, it's not, this work, like any work, takes too much work to only want it for superficial reasons.
Yes.
This shit is not easy.
No.
A lot of times people see people see folks on stage or on screen and they're like, oh, that looks so fun. I want to do that. And there are elements of it that are fun, only because we love what we're doing.
Exactly.
There's elements of cutting people open that surgeons find fun.
Right.
Exactly. They love what they're doing.
You're very right about that.
So that can apply across the board. So yes, just because there are elements of it that are fun doesn't negate the work.
Right.
The work that goes into it, the passion that goes into it, the sacrifice that goes into it, and the years and the hours that you have to put in to make progress, you know?
Yes.
So
it has to be what's really in your heart. Now I'm gonna tell you this. This is, you know, me and my nephew kind of share this sentiment that I'm getting ready to bring up. I hope you don't be too mad with me.
Okay.
So I remember that there was a post that you made and it touched my heart where you were talking about how singing for you at one point, the joy of it because of just the pressure and how what can come with that world. And I understand that. Believe me, I do. Can you sing for us?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that's what you were going to ask me.
I'm always going to come that field.
You got me. Because I was like, oh, is he going to ask me to,
I almost took you down the road you thought I was going. I said, no, I'm just going to get right to it. And all these wonderful things and just how it makes you feel. Can you sing for us?
Yeah.
Can we get a line or two?
I'm trying to think, like.
What has been, let me ask you this if you don't mind. What is the song that has been in your spirit most during all of this?
Ooh, during everything that's happening in the world?
Or whatever that means to you.
Oh.
Whatever's happening in the world or just your pursuit. Just what is Brittany's song?
You know, there's a song that's really been resonating with me recently and that has really been getting me through. I cannot sing it like the singer of it at all. But have you ever heard of Shalea?
Let me know in the comments if I think they have.
There's a song of hers that's really been resonating with me. It's called You Are Enough.
Okay.
I cannot sing it like her, but I will give you a line or two.
Okay. And if you feel free, do a whole verse, but I just a line or two.
Okay, let me see. I don't know what's gonna come out, y'all.
Beauty.
Okay.
We'll wait. Go ahead.
You are enough. You have everything that you need to succeed. I am enough. I have everything that I need to succeed. It's already in you. So make your dreams come true. It's true. It's already in you. So make your dreams come true. Oh. That's all. That's just a little.
That's all. Hold on. You're not going to give us the setup and then walk out.
That's just a little. That's not even, you know.
Someone just told me who Shalea is. I didn't realize. She was the one that played Dorinda in the Clark Sisters.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yes, because she had them scats down.
Yeah, she sang. And that's what I'm saying. That song is just a little beauty, and it's like an affirmation. Yeah, that's what she was. Yeah, sing, mother, sing. And that's the thing, like, obviously, as Black people, our voices do all sorts of things. That's a song that's been resonating with me. That's not the
that's so beautiful
of my voice.
Thank you for blessing us.
Oh, please.
Yeah, no, listen. Because when I met you, you know, they were at, I remember we did the filming for the film for 20 Years In, and then we were at Brandon's house and we did something studio wise.
Oh yeah, we should
have something back or something.
I
remember.
Yeah.
I listen.
Oh, I don't remember the words to that song. If I did, I would sing that, but I don't even remember.
You gave us just what we needed. Oh my goodness. So what final words? Before final words, what is next for you?
Well, hopefully something really great that I cannot say yet, because I'm just waiting on good
like
news.
I said, listen, I said, if there's anything that Auntie can't ask, I'm not trying to get you in trouble with Beyonce, with any NDAs that are out there. I don't want you to get Tiffany Haddished. So listen.
If it was Queen B, if it was anything connected to Queen B, I would just be telling you, child, I have nothing going on.
Nothing.
That job.
Nothing.
Okay, I would just be
not
saying,
a thing.
Okay.
Never seen her in my life.
She does not play, but no, something really great is coming, and I'm speaking it as, but also like literally, it's coming, and I don't have my final confirmation yet, so I'm just waiting.
You're on the strong maybe right now. Is that what it is?
Literally, that's the stage I'm at. So
okay. Well, listen, you're on a track right now that is full of success. So I'm claiming it for you.
Thank you.
I hope you will come back and be with us again.
Yes, of course.
I would love it. Oh my God, I would love it. Thank you so much. So yes, so final word. What would you say to anyone that is wanting to get into the industry? I know you said everything, so you don't have to search for anything too deep. But just what is that one thing that you want what would you tell young Brittany?
Mm-hmm. So there's a quote that I live by. It's my own quote. I came up with it, and I really do live by it, which is that knowing the business will get you in the room, but knowing the craft will keep you there. And I live by that because it's a reminder.
Someone put it in the comments.
It's a reminder to folks that you really need both.
Say it one more time.
Say
it one more time for the young people.
Knowing the business. Will get you in the room. But knowing the craft. Will keep you there.
Will what? Keep you there.
Yeah.
Those are words.
Yeah.
T-shirt copyrighted.
I know. I need to.
It's all right. Well, listen, if anybody tries some funny business, we have witnesses.
Yeah, we have the Zoom too.
Okay, we don't need anybody out there. Okay, I know that you're a big woman in Hollywood. You got people on your trail that are looking at what you're doing and trying to copy it real quick and take it. We're not gonna let it happen. nothing.
That's true. That's true. Together, come on. But no, yeah, I live by that because it's a reminder that you really need both. You can't have one without the other. You'll fall flat on your face without craft, and you'll fall flat on your ass without the business because you won't have any money. That's and you won't have any, branding to speak of. So it's just really important to have them both.
You are so right about. Thank you for the wisdom and the love you brought tonight.
Of course, thank you.
I knew it was going to be good, but it was like way better than I thought it was going to be. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I'm so excited. Let us know your IG handles. Where can we follow you? How can we support you?
So you can follow me on Instagram. I am a millennial, so that's the best place to find me.
Yeah.
And it's just at Brittany Inge, no spaces, no nothing. Brittany spelled the correct way, BRITTANY, and my last name is Inge, INGE, like binge watch.
Somebody put that in the comments on below. If you don't mind, put IG and then at, so that we know where to follow her. And then of course she's on Facebook as well too. On Facebook, once we max, she got 5 million friends, so she's maxed out.
I don't even accept folks on Facebook at this point because Facebook is like where my family is. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even accept the friends. Just find me on Instagram.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Let's go back over here to the real thing. Yeah, so the IG handle is her name. All right, thank you. Everyone's putting it below. Let me just go out here and just kind of see what's going on. You have so much support in the room. Oh. There are so many people that say that they love you. They love what you bring. They love your character, Crystal. They think you're beautiful. They love your voice. They love your testimony. You have other actors that are here that are aspiring and they want to do things, and your testimony has helped them to run a little bit longer because some of them were feeling maybe kind of burnt out and discouraged. And you're an example of what you do if you keep persevering, Brittany.
Thank you. I wish I could see all your comments. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that this real. I'm glad I got on the side. It's real time. I'm looking at everybody say it.
Wait, you're saving this, right?
Huh?
You're saving this?
Yeah, I'm saving it, and I'll save it to make sure you get it. Tag you in, and then I'll break little parts out and make sure I send those to you as well too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, do you have a few minutes to come over and speak to my Instagram babies and say hello?
Sure.
Okay. So if you you all know how we do. We're going to do the after party. So Auntie's going to refresh her drink really quickly, and. Brittany is safe, so she's drinking water. I'm not quite there yet. Don't give up on me, Lord. Okay. Thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure.
Thank you. I'll see you over on IG in a few minutes.
All right. So everyone, this is IMANI VANZAP, and we will see you soon. Bye, babies.
Bye.
See you in a minute.